Hey y'all, this is your revered mojihost Nandi with a new episode of Messy Ministries. Hey, this one is titled, He Wants to Bring His Cheap Piece Home. I did that. She writes, My husband of 5 years just admitted to cheating. He says he needed someone who has time for him and he wanted to be honest with me. We have an infant daughter and I had a rough delivery. I admit we're not as intimate as we used to be, but it's been hard adjusting to a new baby. I'm a stay at home mom and responsible for most of our daughter's care. He suggested we turn this into a situation that works for everybody by letting the other woman move in. He said she has agreed to help with the baby and other household duties. I only want my husband and daughter. My grandmother has told me to pack my and my daughter's things and move in with her. She says he's worthless and has no shame, and she'd be happy to pay attorney's fees. He says my grandmother is trying to run our lives. I really love him, and I want my daughter to grow up with her father. Do you think there's any way we can meet in the middle? What would you do? I can't see sharing my home with another woman. They say if you don't know where to start, just start anywhere. So I'm going to start with your husband is full of shit. Your husband is displaying abusive behavior, controlling behavior, manipulative behavior. I agree with your grandmother. I agree with your grandmother 100%. Just reading this, I don't see that you have a marriage, baby. And I'm sorry it took for you to have a baby to find this out. I really feel for what this means for the future of your daughter. But when people care about you, they don't do this kind of shit. And I mean, it might seem like he's being so honest, because he's talking about, I wanted to be honest with you. Really? Really? Really, dude? No, what you wanted was to control the situation. And now, obviously, this other woman is also amendable to being controlled. I mean, she's agreed to help with the baby and other household duties. Where they do that at? Well, I mean, in America, because they do it in other places, but usually the wife gets to choose who that second person is going to be, or the third, or whatever it is. She has some say so. Ain't nobody just show up out of the blue talking about, this is my cheap piece, and I want her to move in and help take care of the baby and shit. Come on. And he need time for him. It sounds like you overwhelmed with all the time you're having to spend taking care of the daughter that you and he created together. So maybe your grandmother is right. If for nothing else, maybe a little respite is needed. Maybe you don't even have to start off planning it long term. I hope it do turn into long term permanent, like divorce by, I'm taking back my name, or whatever. But I'm not trying to tell you to do that, because I don't have the right to make that decision for you. But I can tell you what, I've experienced something similar to that. And I can tell you what else. I got the hell out. Because you see, you're not going to come disrespecting me like that. Because even when you pretending to put me first, you putting me last. And I spoke about that in an episode, a few episodes back. I don't know exactly when, but I did. I said something about that. When a man chooses other people, and he's supposed to be in a committed relationship with you, but he's out there cheating and, doing whatever the hell he wants to do, and he finally comes back home, you did not win. You were his last choice. Because really his last option. Because, he had done ran through all his other options, and there you are just sitting there all loyal and dedicated and waiting and shit like that. So don't be that person. Don't sit there and wait. Like I said, I agree with your grandma. He don't have no shame. He obviously don't have, his morals and values ain't the same as yours, child. Your grandmother, she be doing you a favor. Let her pay them attorney's fees. Divorce. That's what I see coming. Whether you might be prepared for that or not. I mean, having a baby is a job. Making a baby over a 9 month period, or however long that baby decides to roast in the oven, like I call the womb, that is a job in itself. And then when that baby gets here, it's not like you can take off for a year and rest and get yourself together and all of that, because that baby needs you. So I can understand why you would be exhausted. And you said infant, so that tells me that the baby is not that old. So what in the hell is his problem? But you see, I'm about to go off on on a tangent here. I know you say you love him. I saw you said that I really love him and I want my daughter to grow up with her father. You know, sometimes those things are impossible. And it doesn't sound like he's putting you or the daughter that you share first. Okay? And that baby should come first even if you don't. So think about that and think about what love means to you. Is it more of you feel like you need him? You know, because when you love people, you kind of don't let them do those kind of things to you, because loving them means that you love yourself too. And when you love yourself, you require people to treat you a certain way. You have certain expectations. And if they're not meeting those expectations, then you might have to consider making different choices. So I mean, you might do care about him. And it probably will take you some time to get past him, but staying there and letting him dictate, I don't believe that there is a middle. I really don't, baby. I don't see a middle. You asked me what would I do? I just told you. I'd go head on, take Granny up on her offer. That includes the attorney fees, okay? I would. I'm with your Granny on this one. I wish I knew her, because I'd sure come there and sit down and have coffee with her, even though I don't even drink coffee. But I'd come there and have some coffee with her, and we'll talk about this life. Okay, I'm going to stop. Sigh. Hey, look. Don't share your home with nobody that you don't want to share your home with, okay? That's what I'm going to leave you with. That's all I got for you. Hey, listeners, I want to know what you got to say about it. Let's continue the conversation in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to submit your questions, my email address is in the description. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know anytime a new episode airs. If you're watching this on Facebook and you want to drop me your question, just shoot me a PM. If you're on IG watching this, just shoot me a DM. Y'all see how good I done got with this? Now spend the rest of the day erasing people from y'all lives that just clutter, just taking up space. Later.